Hi guys, this is Danjo the Capital Master, the NFT Master. Welcome back to my channel, and we have a very exciting AMA today with the CSO of Playable Games. Very exciting. We have Mr. Old Bull. So can you please introduce yourself first before we begin the AMA, sir? A little bit about.
Yes, I can.
All right.
Thank you. It's a very enthusiastic welcome. Thank you. My name's Jonathan Bosen-Kay. I'm out of Australia. We currently live in Dubai. We've moved our company and family over here for this project because it's a large project, and there's a lot going on in Dubai right now with crypto that we had to be here for. So Dubai is going to be the new Silicon Valley of crypto, we believe. And so being here, we've already met so many great people. It's amazing. So there's just a lot of talent here. But yeah, my background is marketing. So I've got a master's in marketing, and I'm the founder of Playable Games along with my two sons and my wife. So we're the four founders. And then we've got an executive team of very educated professional people to do each role. So with CEO, we hired a guy called Michael. He's got 3 business degrees. And it just goes down the track. So all of our devs, everyone's fully qualified. They're all fully doxed. You can actually go to our LinkedIn profiles and see who we are and what we've done in the past. We're all out in the open. We're a real McCoy company, like we're live and real.
Right. So it's very amazing that you're doxed and you live in Dubai. Wow, that's very amazing. Dubai is very emerging, especially in crypto. So for my first question, Mr. Old Bull, what are your general thoughts on the current state of the crypto market overall?
Well, we launched at the end of the bull market, and we were very lucky to get a couple of months there as the market sort of fell off. So it gave us enough money to actually survive the crypto winter. So we've done very well there. Like I said, we were lucky. It worked out very well. We're obviously in a strong crypto winter right now, but I actually personally believe it's going to be quite short. So if you look at the charts of Bitcoin and the markets over the last, let's say from 2010, if you look through there, each bear market is getting shorter. So as more and more money comes in that's not retail investor, so as more institutional money comes in, they don't want to have these big downtimes where the market does nothing for 2 years. So like back in 2012, which was, or 13, I think was the end of the first bull run, that lasted for almost 2 years, and the next one lasted for about 1.5 years, and the 2021 lasted for just over a year, and I'm expecting this one to be about 9 months or so. So I think it's going to be pretty quick. We've already had 3 or 4 months of it. So I would be surprised if we're not back in the beginning of the bull run by the end of this year. So the best stuff I've seen is about November is what they call bottom. And then from then, we're in the bull run all the way. So it's running.
All right.
So, and if that's the case, Playable Games is on fire. We are going to be flying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did the idea for Playable Games come about?
Probably from failure would be the correct answer. I was hired as a marketing officer for a gaming company, and what happened was I met this guy. I had a Daisy server. I don't know if you know Daisy, the survival game, DAYZ. It's a third-person survival game made by Bohemia Games, and I had a server that I ran that had my own version of it on it. And a guy came through that server playing with his son one day, and he owned a gaming company in Australia. And he had this problem. He couldn't raise money. Right. So this is the world over. There's all these beautifully creative, wonderful game devs out there, and guess what they don't have any of? Money. And making games is really expensive, and the people that are skilled are really expensive. And like just one of our teams right now costs $80,000 a month just to run that one team of 10 people.
Right.
So, and then we've got 3 of those teams. So, like, it's very expensive to build games.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if I had access to just a little bit of money, I could get this brilliant game done. And so I had heard of this company called Gala Games, which is what people refer to us as they're our big brother, or we're their little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And Gala Games was the first company to do what we've done. They thought, you know what we could do? We could become a gaming producer and use the money we get from crypto to buy actual proper real world gaming companies and fund them. And so that's what we've done. So I raised that guy $1 million out of Gala. I approached Gala and Gala gave him $1 million US. And they, actually it might've been $1 million Australian, I think. It was $1 million Australian. So, and that funded his game, and he got his game all up to ready and stuff. And in the process, that deal with Gala fell apart and I ended up out of a job, and I went back to Gala with another gaming company and they wouldn't talk to me. And so it wasn't just me. I don't think I was talking to anyone. They were so big and everything was so huge at that time. They'd made several $1 billion and they were racing. Wow. And so I was sitting in my lounge room and I was thinking, okay, so Gala won't talk to me because they're too busy. Their life is going really well. My life isn't going so well. What could I, hang on a tick, and that sort of jolted with my brain that, you know what, we could do what they did. We could actually go to the market, to crypto, and say, hey, do you guys think this is a good idea? And this is what I love about crypto, is that unlike traditional business where you have to start a business, you bootstrap that business for 2 or 3 or 5 years, so you make no money. Everyone around you starves, you starve, your employees starve, your family starves. You can tell I'm not starving anymore, but I'm sort of I've got a little bit of fat on me now. But the basic thing is that there's a very long process to get to the money in traditional business. But with crypto, you go to the market, it's like a Kickstarter campaign. You say, hey, this is our idea. What do you think of this idea? And if they like it, they'll buy into the idea and they'll purchase some coin, or they'll buy a node, or whatever your vehicle is. And people loved the idea. And what we were very lucky because Gala had gone before us, and Gala was suddenly $96,000 for a node. And our nodes came out at $200. So everyone was just typing, this is the new Gala. And, you know, as we sort of end up with this sort of Gala's little brother type, which is quite accurate. We do some things differently to Gala. I've got some differences. I don't like what Gala did on that. And that's not to say they were wrong. I just think that, you know, like when you get a chance to do something a second time, like, you know, Elon Musk wasn't the first electric car ever built, but he was able to look at what had been done before and improve on it. Where's the real problem? Well, the real problem is in the battery. So if they get the battery right, then the car becomes much, much better. So the base end was that we copied Gala, made some changes to it, what I call evolved it. We made it a bit better. We made our nodes so they pay much better for our node owners. And whereas Gala has a halving every year, we don't have a halving for our node rewards. The guys get the same rewards every year for 10 years. So that's a really good way to get a response there. So yeah, so that's how it all started.
That's amazing. Your explanation is amazing. You went through it all. So what is your personal background, and why do you think Playable Games became a success? Or other cryptos are falling right now? What are your thoughts?
Well, my background, there's 3 questions there. So my background is marketing, as I said. I've got a master's in marketing, Griffith University in Australia. And my wife has a master's in marketing. And then my 2 boys, actually my what I call my gamer son, he just came in and said, I don't know if you know, do you know the 10,000 hour rule? Have you heard the 10,000 hour rule?
No. To
become a professional at something.
Oh,
so a tennis player has to basically get 10,000 hours on the court
to be professional.
to be professional. Yeah.
Right. Right.
And that's pretty much everything. If you're making videos, when you've got 10,000 hours of making videos, you're going to be making really nice videos. So,
That's true.
but Jet came in this morning actually into our office and said, just want everyone to know I have 10,000 hours in MMOs. So he's grown up on video games, and he's 20 now. So he's actually a professional game player. So my background's marketing, and I sort of came up the hard yards. I started off in my 20s. I started selling door to door. I was a salesperson. I sold big vacuum cleaners door to door, knocking on doors.
Right.
Hi, do you want to buy a vacuum cleaner? And the average answer was no. They didn't want to buy one.
Right.
And then I did a whole bunch of jobs like that, ended up in sales management, running big sales teams, and then went back to school and got my marketing degree. So, and then I've done a master's in marketing after that. So that's my background. Why is Playable Games doing well when others are failing? Partly because we've taken a very different attitude, I think, to what most cryptocurrencies do. We noticed that the dev community, the gaming community, the developers that build games, they're all very creative and great ideas, but they lack the business acumen you need to build a successful business. And one of the things Playable does is we bring that business back end. We bring lawyers, we bring business people, we bring finance people, and we lock that in. We don't disrupt the creative part of the developer, but we click into the back of it a whole business structure. And so the lead dev doesn't have to stop being creative and coming up with great ideas. In actual fact, he gets more time to do that because he's not trying to do a balance sheet or answer his... Our lawyers can do all that. We've got accountants that can do that. We've got business people that can do that. We take care of the business and make sure that the business is run really well.
Right.
And the devs get to create and build beautiful games.
Right.
And so that's our model. That's what we're actually building. And so the idea is that we end up with really creative, really well-structured games. And when you come to crypto, the problem with crypto is that often the idea was a good idea, but the guy that started it couldn't do it. So if I started this on my own, you would never want to invest in this. Like if you I'm a creative, I'm all big ideas and I wake up in the morning with a new idea every day. That's great for ideas. It's terrible for business.
Right.
So I've employed really highly qualified, serious business people. Our CEO doesn't even play games. He's not a gamer. He doesn't need to be a gamer. He needs to run the business.
Right.
I want him to run the business. I don't want him playing games. Don't you go playing games, you go run the business. So that's what Playable Games has done differently. And when it comes to, what am I going to put my money into in crypto? Like we all know that cryptos are massively high risk. It's, and that's the fun of it. That's the gambling side of crypto, which is fun. We all hope that this coin we buy today is going to 100x or 1000x. We've all heard those stories. And that's why we're here. I personally have, I think I've got 200 million Shiba Inu, all right? Because I actually believe Shiba Inu will go up to not a very high price because there's so many of them, but I'll be able to 1000x that. So I'll get a really good return on my money on that sometime in the future because SHIB's going to have a big community and that community is going to be valuable. So Playable Games gets rid of a lot of that risk because people can look at it and say, what is the business behind it? And we've actually got a business. We actually have built a business. So we're here for the long term. We've got lots of money saved from our launch and we're going to pop out into the next bull run on fire and running full tilt. It's going to be great fun.
Wow, I'm very excited about everything about Playable Games, especially the token. Especially, I have heard a lot of useful and informative things about you regarding the use of the CEO. It's very, very nice explanation, sir. So
thank you.
I've heard a lot of people compare you to Gala Games, but you're a lot smaller, let's face it. So, do you think you will be ever competitive with them?
Well, yes, I think we've got a chance. They've got first mover advantage. So first mover advantage is always a really big thing. Personally, I think they've made a mistake going wide. They've gone into films and into music and not just games. We've made an absolute commitment to our people. We will not do that. The closest we'd ever go to a film would be if the whole film was built in Unreal Engine. So it was built by a gaming development team. So short of that, I don't think we'd ever look at doing films. And we're not interested in doing, like, Gala's building a proper Netflix competitor and a proper Spotify competitor. Now, I think they'll pull that off. I actually think they've got some very talented people. I don't think it's a very good business move, but I actually think they've got enough money that they'll make that work. So maybe I can restructure that question a little bit and say, in the gaming industry, I think we'll be competitive with Gala. I think Gala might still hold on to number one, but we will be Pepsi to their Coca-Cola. So they can be Coke, I'll be Pepsi. I'm happy with that. That's a good outcome.
Absolutely. Two big giants in the gaming industry.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So what is different about Playable Games compared to other crypto gaming companies?
Well, I've touched on that before, yeah. So our main difference is that we don't, well, first of all, we're not just one game. A lot of people think our Playable Games is one game. We've currently got 3 games and we're in negotiations right now to buy a 4th. And then that'll be it for this year. We won't buy any more this year. Next year, we'll probably buy another 3. So we're sort of looking at buying 3 games a year. And as more money comes in, those games will get bigger. So, but at the moment, so yeah, we've got 3 games, but the difference between us and most other gaming companies is we're not just a gaming dev team trying to get crypto to pay for our dev team. We actually have a business strategy to this. We actually know where we're building the business, and we've got business people running that strategy. We have professional marketers, we have professional CEOs, we have professional finance people, we have professional devs. We've got right across the board. We've got 30 plus people at the moment on our team, and it's growing every week. So we're hiring people. We have a full-time legal team. So it's just all that stuff adds up to really making sure we're not making mistakes out there and we're moving forward. Very
important, especially the legal team. Most crypto projects, they don't have even a legal team on their board. So I heard you made a tweet recently about Playable Games being like Bitcoin. So what was that all about?
Okay, hang on, I think that's a big one.
yeah, all right.
Okay, so what I was trying to say was, and maybe it didn't come across as perfectly as I wanted to, but what I was trying to say was that if you could get a time machine and go back in time to 2010, where you could mine Bitcoin on a normal, not a gaming, on a normal laptop, and every 2 or 3 days you would just receive 50 Bitcoin, would you do that?
Of course.
I don't know anyone in the world in crypto who wouldn't do that. I mean, that's just like, oh my God, if I could do that, if I could go back in time and get a few thousand Bitcoin in 2010, 2011, 2012, I would change you'd be a billionaire. You'd be absolutely worth a lot of money. So, and there's plenty of people that did that, all right? They started really small. I believe Playable Games right now is in a very similar situation. Our coin is 0.06%. So it's 0.0006. And I believe we're going to be 50 cents either next year or the year after. So that's 1,000, it's a very big X. So what is it? It's 10, 100, I think it's 1,000. So over 1,000 X. So it's a big climb up. I'd have to check the maths on that. I'm not very good at maths in my head, sorry. But basically, you're looking at a very large return for a very small investment. And if you take the understanding of the lesson from Bitcoin, and I'm not saying just buy playable games, find other tokens and coins that are in a similar situation. They've got a good team, they've got a really good idea. Gaming's doubling every year now at the moment. For the next 5 or 6 years, they think gaming is going to double in revenue every year. Epic Games, Steam, all of the big gaming companies in the world are pouring massive resources into growing now because they know that while it's doubling every year, the returns are going to be massive. So it stands to reason that investing in crypto gaming is just a no-brainer. Alex Becker, one of the top YouTubers out there, just says he doesn't invest in anything else. He says gaming is just the safest thing. It doubles every year. So even bad gaming companies are going to get an upward rise. So if you take the Bitcoin lesson and you apply that to playable games, you spend $1,000 today or even $100 today in playable games, even $50. So $50 today buys you 83,000 playable games coins. All right. So if it goes to 50 cents in 2 years' time, you just turned $50 into $40,000.
Wow.
Okay. So now I know in some parts of the world, $50 is a lot of money. In America and Australia and the Western world, $50 is a cup of coffee and a croissant down at the local, so skip your coffee and your croissant with your girlfriend, go and put her off for one date and go and buy $50 worth of playable games. And in a couple of years' time, you might have $40,000. Hey, if you did that once a week for a year, you'd have $2 million. If you did $50 a week for 1 year and it went to 50 cents, then you'd have $2 million. Now, I can't think of an easier way to become a millionaire than picking several stocks like playable games, spreading your risk, and if they're all gaming stocks, let's say, the chances are some of them are going to become very successful and you're going to make some money. Sounds like a good plan to me.
Very nice plan.
Not financial advice. Do your own research.
Yeah. Do your
Sorry.
But it's a nice strategy, It's a nice strategy.
Yeah.
So
spread wide. Yeah.
Right. So how long do you think the bear market will last? And do you think what do you think will happen to playable games when the bull market settles in?
Bear market. I'm hoping for November being bottom. So bottom means that's the end of the bear market and the bull market has begun.
Right.
They think we're in bottom now. A lot of people are calling bottom now. I don't know. I there's a part of my brain that says there's one more bad fall to come. But I saw a piece of, I think it might have been Alex Becker. Someone smart said the other day, no one's factoring in inflation. And if you factor in inflation, we're already as low as it should have gone. So that means we are at bottom.
All right.
So now I'm not a financial expert. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it makes a lot of sense to me that if you the American government's printed so much money in the last 18 months, 80% of all money in existence, they've printed in the last 18 months. So that's going to definitely affect. So what when we're looking at, Bitcoin should be $12,000, if you take into effect of the inflation, $17,000 is much lower than $12,000 5 years ago.
Right.
So we've already been to the lowest low. It's just that the money's not worth the same. So I think to bear. What does it mean for playable games? Well, once the bull market settles in, our coin price is going to start rising. And when our coin price gets to $0.01, which will happen quite quickly, because we've already been to 6 cents. When we launched on our launch day, we hit 6 cents. Actually, I think we hit 7 cents. And that was on Trader Joe. But all of the charts you see out there in the world now are on the bigger exchanges.
Right.
So we had to relist our coin. And so the new charts start at a lower price of about 1/6 of a cent. So if you look at the chart, it starts to 6, but we've actually been to 6 cents. So, and Gala Games has been to 84 cents. So we're going to hit 50 cents in the next bull run.
That's amazing.
So once we get to 1 cent, our ROI on our nodes is less than 9 months. So our nodes are currently $4,400 to buy. So they started at 200, and every time we sell 100, they go up by 100. So we've sold 4,400, so the price is 4,400. When we've sold 10,000, the price will be 10,000. When we've sold 20,000, the price will be 20,000. So Gala nodes right now are $96,000. They changed their parameters. They actually stopped the market, changed their parameters, and stopped it being 50,000 for the last node. We're not going to do that. Our last node will be $50,000. That'll be the last one you buy. So when the bull market settles in and the ROIs line up, our nodes will explode and we'll go right through to probably 50,000 nodes sold really quickly.
All right.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what games do you have and when do you think they will be ready?
We've got 3 games in our stable at the moment. The first game is Reven, R-E-V-N. And Reven is a third-person MOBA. So like a third-person version of League of Legends.
Right.
Or Dota. Being a third-person shooter in a MOBA setting makes it very complex to balance. But it makes it really good fun too. It's really fun to play. So that's in closed beta right now. And if you join, we're about to set up a web page shortly where you can join a whitelist to be invited to closed beta. So keep an eye on our website and you can actually join that. And we can invite people to come and play the game. It's playable now. We're actually playing it every week. And so that will go to open beta most probably in November.
Wow.
So that will be open beta and all the NFT skins, all that stuff will be available in our marketplace. It's a proper PvP MOBA, so none of our NFTs affect the game at all. They're just skins, so they don't change. It's exactly like League of Legends. So you can buy a skin. Right. It doesn't make your character any better. Yeah. So it's a very fair game. Everyone's the same. So it's a proper competition. And that's going to have $1 million prize pool probably the year after next to win a professional tournament. And we're putting up $1 million prize money for the winning team of the year. So the season, there'll be 2 seasons a year. And each season, the winning team will get $1 million. Wow. So that's going to be wild. That's going to be a professional tournament game.
A lot of money, yeah.
Well, crypto's got a lot of money. That's like people say, why bring crypto into gaming? Let's get the money into the games. Let's get the people that play the games making a living out of it. You're in the Philippines. Obviously, a lot of people in the Philippines don't have the same starting chance that a Western person does. But I've played Filipino people in Daisy, and like in a first-person shooter I play. That's the game I like playing. They're great. They're great gamers. They love it. And so part of Playable Games' idea is that we can give these guys a chance to actually earn money in gaming. And we're going to have, if you're a good gamer, one of the things we're doing with Reven is we're going to have this professional tournament, this one up here, but we're also going to have an amateur tournament where you don't have to be professional. You don't have to be studying full-time Reven. You can just play for fun. But if you're a good player, you can buy a ticket for $10. And if you win, you get all the money that was put in.
Wow.
To the game. Yeah. So that's one of the things we're going to do. So I've got a friend of mine that plays Siege 6, and he wins 6 out of 10 games he plays. So he was the one that told me this. If you could give me a game that I can win 6 out of 10, I can make money every night and keep going to university. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. Let's make that happen. So that's going to be part of what Reven's going to have. It's going to be, you're going to be able to back yourself and your team. So we're going to have a deathmatch version, and we're going to have and we're going to have an actual MOBA version. So you'll be able to work out who's the best player in the world and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be really cool.
Wow.
So that's Revan. That's our first game. Our second game is War of Steel. That's a mech robot battle royale like Fortnite. And same thing, the skins inside the game don't change the mechs, but the skins are going to be wild. We've got some crazy alien looking bug type things, and they're really fun. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Very fast. It's a less serious game than Revan. Revan's a proper tournament game. This is not meant to be. This is meant to be a game you come home after work, play with your mates. It's going to have the amateur tournament as well. And you'll be able to go buy a ticket and get all the winnings if you win. So if you're playing on your own, you get everything. If you're playing with a team, your team gets everything. So that's going to be fun. And the third game we've got is Dogs of War. And that is a survival game like Daisy. We're basically building a crypto version of Daisy where you own all your inside assets and you can buy things. And one of the things we're using NFTs for is Daisy has what's called a permanent death. So when you die, you get put all the way back to the beginning and you lose everything.
All right.
And gamers like that up to a certain point. And then there's a certain point where that gets really tiring.
Yeah.
And you
don't respond.
You just got to start again and battle zombies with nothing, and I die of sickness. And
absolutely.
So what we're going to allow people to do in this game is buy memory. So when you respawn, you remember all the skills. So if you've done it lots of times before, then you can pretty much, you know how to build a fire, you know how to fish for, you don't have to find all the pieces to do it. You can actually just go and do it. So that's going to help the game be a lot more fun in those later levels. But that's going to be wild. And all the characters are actually dogs. So we've got pit bulls and Dobermans and Afghans and wolves, and that's going to be really fun. Have a look at our Twitter feed and stuff. There's some really great.
I will, absolutely, I will. And I will
there's some great links out there.
The community also, so everybody can see it, and we're gonna anticipate it.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, wow, very amazing. So, how many staff do Playable Games have now?
We've got 33, I think, around the world at the moment. So permanent, like full-time staff, and then we've got like our legal team is like they're an actual law firm that we have on, like we have like a retainer type thing. So so that's basically the whole staff, I suppose. So it's 33 plus the legal team.
All right.
So
that's amazing. At least you have a team that is dedicated and are willing to do their best for this Playable Games. So what's coming next? We want to know what's your plans with Playable Games.
We're in negotiations right now with a very big game that I can't announce just yet, unfortunately, but at the end of this week even, we might have a yes on that. And it's going to certainly draw out some money out of our coffers because it's expensive to buy, but it's really good, and it could be groundbreaking in this space. So that's coming. Obviously, once we get to the next bull run, the coin price is going to just rocket by like large amounts. And that's going to allow us, so at the moment, we haven't been selling any of our coin. So we're a node-based system. So the people, our node owners, there's 13 million coins produced every day out of the nodes. Half of those coins go to the company to run the company, and half of those coins go to the node owners as rewards for running our nodes. And so when the coin price gets up to over a cent, we're going to be able to have the volume to actually sell some of the coins we have in our treasury back into the market, and people will be able to buy them. And that's going to increase our funding exponentially. So we're going to be a lot richer than we are now. And that's going to mean bigger games, more games, more professional staff on our team. So we're actually going to be hunting for, we actually want to hire a couple of big people from yesteryear. So people that produced really big games back in the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. A lot of those guys are now in their 50s and they find it hard to get work because gaming's a very young person's sort of creativity genre. So most game devs that are successful grind it out, no money. They all live on pizza and drink water and just do what they have to do to get the game out. But these older guys have a lot of talent and they've got a lot of experience in how they did it, and we want that experience back in our company. So, and we want them to be available to consult the young guys that are running the teams. So and those guys are expensive. They cost hundreds of thousands a year each.
Wow.
But we know what we need to make this a really successful business. So
that's very amazing, sir. Everything that I've asked you, answer it really well compared to my other AMAs so far. Playable Games with the CEO, with the CSO here. Super nice AMA, sir. I'm very thankful for coming here.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for attending our AMA, guys. Don't forget to join now on their social medias, okay, and start playing, guys. I will link it on the description below. All of their links for you to join the Discord group, the Telegram group. Let's make them bigger. Let's make them the next Gala Games. Let's beat Gala Games. So thank you so much, Mr. Oldbull, and thank you for attending this event. Hope you have a very nice day. This is Danjo, the Capital Master, the #1 NFT master in the world. See you soon, guys. Do you have any final words before we end this?
Just to thank you for your time and very, very humble, and thank you that you want to talk to us. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Goodbye, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.